Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Gabauer, Superintendent of Mount Pleasant Area School District. Joining me today are Jamie Barron, General Manager from DMJ Transportation, and Ray Sassong, Terminal Manager at DMJ Transportation. They've been our transportation partner for the last several years. Done a tremendous job, always responsive, and a great partnership between the district and DMJ. And what we wanted to do today was just to get together and talk a little bit about what's going to happen for the upcoming year, what happens actually during the summer. It's neat to look at what happens behind the scenes. You know, we pick up children, we take them home, and sometimes there are calls back and forth in between. But as I'm sitting in my office, I can look out and I see the state police, for example, coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out, and I know that that's tied into something that happens, you know, with DMJ over the summer. But this gives everybody an opportunity to place a face with a name and get an idea about what happens. And we do have some concern from your part, from our part, from the entire community with all the construction that we see happening and what have you. So this gives us a chance to speak to that and how we're going to manage that as we go throughout the months. But can you speak to what it looks like at DMJ Transportation during the summer months? What does that look like?
So summertime is a little slower for us. We always have summer school in session, and other than that, we spend our time focusing on state police inspections, recruitment, and school year prep. Every July, the buses undergo state police inspections, which is all you've been seeing, all the state police come in and out. All of our buses did pass this year and are ready to safely hit the road in fall. A lot of our summer is spent recruiting new drivers, so we hosted a Drive the Bus event, as well as attended a few career expos. We held 2 CDL classes to certify new drivers that really put us in a good position for the school year.
What do they do during a state police report, if you don't mind me asking? What does that entail?
So pretty much the troopers just come down to the garage. They'll do a 360 inspection of outside the bus. They'll go under the bus, make sure everything under there looks okay. They'll go inside the bus, make sure the seats are all put down how they should be, and just overall make sure that they're safe to hit the road.
Gotcha. Okay.
Aside from summer school recruitment and PSP, we pretty much just prep for the school year, and that includes cleaning out our files and our databases and making sure we're ready to go for the first day of school.
Fantastic. It's interesting because I know when we build schedules in the school or anything that happens, it doesn't just happen. Like, it's not like we sit down with index cards, and like a lot of times there's a lot that goes into, in your case, building bus routes, bus stops. And it's not just done arbitrary. There's an awful lot of thought put into that. Can you speak to us what typically goes into designing a bus route and bus stop times and that with your logistics department?
So it starts with our routing software. The bus stops are generated from Route Finder. That is an award-winning industry routing software for school buses. The software uses artificial intelligence to review geographic data to create efficient and fast routes while minimizing drive time and mileage. So the AIO takes into account travel regions, curb approaches, and our logistics expert will then use their local knowledge of the area to go in and kind of perfect the routes, make sure the system didn't miss anything. And then once they're all completed, we'll distribute them to the drivers, and they'll do a dry run of their route to make sure the computer picked up all the little tweaks that you have around town.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I know when we first got together with our partnership, there was a talk about times, you know, and we set some parameters. Let's try to make our routes all under 50 minutes and what have you. Been very successful in doing that because some of the geography of the district with the 106 square miles
of geographic region.
Sure is. But over the last couple of years, we've really refined it to where we've got some tremendous, route times. You know, the stop times have been great and everything's been working out well.
Yeah, we think between that, our award-winning software, and our local knowledge, we kind of have the most efficient routes that they're going to be.
Yeah. So as I mentioned at the beginning, construction is happening all around us. I mean, there's a red light popping up here, one popping up here, one lane road here, closure here. And it's going to be with us. It's not going to leave us within the next week or two. It's going to be here. And I know from the family's end, and there'll be concern like, what does that mean? Are we going to make it on time? Is it going to hold things up? Can you talk a little bit about, from your end, because I know there's a connection with PennDOT and what have you. But from your end, what does that look like relative to construction? And then if there is something that affects a specific family or a bus or anything, how will we communicate that so they know what's happening? Like from your end and from our end.
Sure. So road construction will be a challenge this year. There's no doubt. We're working with PennDOT as close as we can. I guess what we're asking for is the families, community to have patience. Understand that we will do everything we can to make sure that those buses are on time.
Yeah.
There will be a few buses that are affected by the construction, but we'll reach out to those families prior to the school year and let them know where we stand with that. So I guess patience for the community and families is the biggest thing. We all just know that times could be affected a little bit,
Sure.
you know.
And if something happens during the school year, same thing, we'll communicate and we'll find a way to communicate that to the families, like, hey, this is going to be a closure or a detour, could affect you. So,
Correct.
Correct,
yeah.
And their information's always in their eSchool portal, so if there is a change or anything,
Yeah.
they'll just be able to pull that up and look at it after we make the call and say, hey, here's what's happening, and then they'll be able to see all that in real time as it changes.
Excellent, that's fantastic. Now, I know one of the things is whenever we moved into a partnership with you as well, we had a lot of discussion about safety, safety features on buses and what have you. Can you speak to the various safety features on the buses? I know some of them are physical safety features that we see, but there might also be some other things that you do with personnel or procedures that there would be safety. Can you speak to some of that?
Sure, yeah, happy to handle that. So we actually have a 4-camera system and a GPS technology on all of our buses that tracks real time.
Yeah.
So we're able to track the buses. We also do the pre-trip inspection. We also have a post-trip inspection that we also do spot checks and child check safety each and every day. We also have Mark, our safety coordinator. He's a retired state trooper.
I'm sorry, what does a child check safety look like? Like, what would that mean?
Well, what happens before the route, we are actually checking that bus, all the seating area, and then post-trip, we're actually going back and checking the seating area for any child left behind. That's extremely important to us.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to verify.
There's an alarm that sounds that if you don't go back and click it and say like, oh, the bus is clear, the bus doesn't go. So
I thought that was the
always
case.
nifty, yeah, that horn always gets
Little
everyone.
backup check, yes.
It'll let you know, sure.
Yes, good,
Sure.
thank you.
Yeah. And we also have Mark, he's a retired state trooper. He's our safety coordinator. He confirms all of the training that needs to be done, all the support, oversees all the overall safety habits of DMJ and the drivers. So he's extremely important to us. And
Fantastic. And a piece of that we're going to add on this year, I think that is tremendous. And it's sooner rather than later, but it's a matter of when it happens. You know, we're trying between yourselves and the company and through our technology department, but it's the addition of Stop Finder. You know, Stop Finder being one, you talked earlier about your GPS that's on the bus.
Right.
I believe Stop Finder taps into the GPS and enables us to be able to follow our bus. So can you speak just a little bit about Stop Finder? I might have said, a little bit about what it is right there. Just speak to that just a little bit, because it'll be really nice, especially with the construction happening and what have you.
It'll be a great
for them to
resource.
be able to have this as a resource. Can you speak to what it can do?
Yeah, so Stop Finder, it's a school bus tracking app. It pulls data from our real-time GPS software that we have on all of our buses. While the parents won't be able to follow the entire route the bus makes, it does ping them when they're in their general area. So probably 5 or 10 minutes before the bus is approaching, they'll get a notification the bus is there, and they'll be able to get their student ready and out the door.
That's wonderful. So instead of having to sit outside for 20 minutes, sometimes you can sort of, if you have the app, you know
Yeah,
the bus is coming. You can go out there. If it's a driving rainstorm, instead of sitting there and you can time it a little bit better to get out to the bus stop.
It'll notify you before the bus stop too, so you have adequate time to make sure you're ready, get your students' shoes on, get their backpack, and make sure they're out the door. It's not just something, oh, the bus is here, I gotta go. So it'll be
Yeah,
a very useful resource through all this construction.
And when dropping students off in the afternoon, if they're picking their children up, especially the younger ones that are required to be there to pick it up, they know when you're going to be at that
correct.
bus stop.
Yes,
So.
good point.
Yeah, we're excited about that. I know from a district end, we're really excited about that going in. Our community and our families are going to like that
Good.
quite a bit. So one of the things that's happening in many places, in a variety of organizations, and boy, you hear about it in the news an awful lot, is the driver shortage. And we keep in communication an awful lot. And there are times when it's more of a concern than others, but going into the 22-23 school year, where are you at? And what can you tell the folks about our scenario with our staffing?
So we've been fortunate so far not to be super impacted by the bus driver shortage. We make sure that DMJ is a great place to work to help us retain employees, and then we primarily spend the summer recruiting new drivers. So on top of the Drive That Bus event, we also implemented a referral bonus for our employees. Some of our best hires comes from, hey, you should come drive at DMJ. Sure. They know who's out there, they know who's looking. And we also held 2 CDL classes throughout the summer to make sure we were adequately staffed. So we're going in, every route's covered, we should not be short, and we're confident where we're at.
And I would imagine you're always looking, so if there's somebody out there watching
They are.
and thinks that may be something that they would like to do or be
Sure.
involved, and that schedule fits you, because it gives you a little bit of flexibility in the schedule, by all means, reach out to DMJ.
Yeah, we're always hiring great school bus drivers because, like you said, it's the perfect job for
Yeah.
stay-at-home parents and grandparents because they get to go along with their student schedule while also making an extra income for their family. So it's really a win on both words. So if anyone's interested, you guys can stop in either of our offices in Mount Pleasant or Norvelt or visit our website.
Well, listen, I thank you for spending time with us today.
Our
Both-
pleasure.
both
Thank
Ray
you
and
for
Jamie.
having us.
There's so much that happens going into a school year, and in some cases, this helps people to see a little bit behind the curtain as to what's taking place. So,
Fantastic.
thank you from your end, and now they know who the two of you are, and we've, as I said from the beginning, it's been a partnership that we've been extremely pleased with. For this conversation was, hey, would you mind coming to make a video? It was, although maybe a little bit
Happy to do
uncomfortable, yeah,
anything
you're
we
happy to
can.
do it, and you said, let's do it. So came to the board meeting and spoke at the public meeting.
We
and
appreciate
we're,
that.
we're
we
so
have a lot of support
appreciative.
on your end. You are very good to us.
Well,
Very good,
thank
very
you.
supportive,
It's-
and that makes a big, big impact.
It's just so nice for the community to see, what's happening
Sure.
and to see their
Absolutely.
partners step up. So we appreciate that. So Ray and Jamie, thank you, and everybody else, thanks for joining in, and have a great day.